Yes, people. So today we're going to talk about selecting the correct position, all right, while you have the chance to retrain and redevelop where you're playing. Now, a lot of you, when you are selecting your position, and even with the coaches that are around you, the first thing that most 99% of coaches in the UK, okay, select players based out of is the physical stature that they have. Is he big? Is he strong? Is he fast? And therefore, those players who are physically in those categories will usually fill up the certain positions, either centre back, striker, or even playing in the midfield. Okay. Then usually the small ones who are not as strong as they are, but technically would then pushed out on the wide areas, typically left back. And if they are very techy, they've got the IQ, but they're not physically strong, you probably see them playing as a winger. Now the problem is with this is, if you're trying to become a semi-professional footballer, then you should go by the typical UK structure of building you as a player: physical, tech, then IQ. If you want your son or daughter, or you yourself want to be a semi-professional footballer playing in Step One, National League, etc., Ryman Premier, then go by that profile. Go by just building your physicality. Go to the gym, get really big. Get strong, get fast, fitness. Yeah, do a few goal sessions a week and don't touch your IQ. You'll be a very good semi-professional footballer. But if you're trying to go elite levels, then you need to look at where does your technicality base. Now, there's levels to technical foundation, but that's a separate video. If you're trying to go all the way and make it as a pro, and not just make it in, but stay there, then you need to follow the Spanish and Dutch and German ways of building players, and also the Italians and the Portuguese. There's many other nations that are doing really well, but those are at the top of my mind. You need to focus on setting the foundation right with the technical foundation on lock. Okay, that's number one. Number two, why is that important? Because it allows you to control the game. That's number one. Number two, football IQ is the blueprint. Okay, so then why it guides your actions and helps you to make the right decision. This is very important. Football IQ, knowing you need to be, is very important. Now you may ask, and that's another video as well, how do you then decide that with players under 10s and under 12s, and I'll speak about that another time. Third one is then the physicality. Listen, physicality is really there as an engine to allow you to execute your technical and your IQ with the right intensity. That's what the physicality is looked at in those countries. It is not the foundation in which we select players. It is the engine in which we use to allow that player to play in the position with the right intensity. Does that make sense? So for some of you playing as a striker because you're fast and you're okay finishing, but let's say for example you are, like in Spain and in Dutch, I've seen them have very talented centre backs who are very good, can play the two-touch role, and it's too easy for them. They will move them up to play centre mid, to see whether they can play in that position, challenge their IQ, etc. And this is why the Dutch system of playing all those positions, and also to be able to execute it based out of technical and IQ, is the reason why they have footballers all over the countries and in some teams that you guys and I support. And so it's very vague what I'm saying, but there is a lot of depth to it. So I would like you to put in the comments the position that you want me to, base out of, to say, all right, am I this? For example, obviously the title says, am I a winger? Now, I played as a winger, and I could tell you this for damn sure, is that we select as a winger, number one is our physical paralysis. How fast am I? So therefore I can play as a wing. What if you're fast and you can play as a centre back? Just because you're quick doesn't mean you automatically play in forward positions. Maybe you're quick and you can run back and be brilliant and defending. We know that William Saliba was actually a striker and he converted to play as a centre back. And he said himself that if he was going to go pro as a striker, he would be playing League Two. So there's levels. So if you're a winger and you're selecting yourself as a pace, I'd like to challenge you and say, okay, let's look at your technicality. Now, let's say you could play off the 1 and the 2 touch, and you've got you only could play the 1 and the 2 touch, and you're not really great taking on players, but you're really quick, then I'm definitely going to challenge you to say you need to reshuffle the position. If you're a winger and your number one technicality is dribbling and beating players, then you should be looking to say, all right, cool, I can go forward in this position. I mean, dribbling, I can cross, I'm very